Hello. Today, I would like to speak to you on a very important issue or to share with you very important information. And this will help us to put ourselves together to work harmoniously towards the development of our own country, Ghana, beginning from the lowest level to the highest level. As a matter of fact, I am not a political leader. I don't belong to any political party, and therefore I am not making a political statement. But what I'm talking about touches political or politics. And therefore, I am giving a general knowledge and sharing information about how each and every one of us can play a part in what we call the political administration or political process of our country. But before I go on, I would like to take this opportunity to invite you to click the like button and also to subscribe to our channel and join us in this community for us to put our minds together to share ideas as to how we can individually and collectively come together and impact our societies such that there will be a uniform development across Ghana in such a way that when you travel from the north to the south, the east to the west, central, anywhere you go in Ghana, you will see a certain line of development or a certain line of experience that runs through the fiber of the Ghanaian life. And that is why we can say we have a uniform and a sustainable development, how we can sustain whatever we are talking of as development in such a way that they can be improved upon and move them upwards and upwards. But before we go on, let us ask the question, what is development? Development. If you go to anywhere in Ghana, beginning from the churches, and then you move to the shrines, move to the palaces of the kings and the queens and the chiefs, the one thing that you will hear is the crying and the prayer for development. But what we haven't asked ourselves is, what is development at all? And as a matter of fact, development is simply making the best or the most of what you are doing or what you have. And if we come to understand this principle, we will be able to take every aspect of our lives and look at how best we can bring a higher level or to move that aspect to a higher state. And so, to every problem in our lives, the other side of it is the solution. So when you are going through a certain challenge, that at that point you are underdeveloped. But as soon as you use your mind to work out the solution for the problem, then the solution moves you to another state. Then we say you've developed upon your previous state. And so the movement, this direct movement from lower state to the higher state, that we call development. But when you have a challenge and someone comes to do something for you to patch you up, that is not development, because as soon as the person leaves you, you relax back to the state that you used to be, you see. And so that is how our life is. And so if you go to Ghana, anywhere, every child, every adult is crying for development. But as a matter of fact, as Jesus Christ said, when they say, go here or go there, do not pay heed to them, for the kingdom of God is within you. And so today, I'm also telling you that all the things that we've been doing as the way to seek development in our lives as a nation is not the way to seek development. All those things are good, but they are not the basics. And so in every human being's life, the basics of things are the bedrock of everything that we do. And as a matter of fact, if you look at a car that you drive in or any big object that you have as a machine. It is a simple thing that someone understood the basics and then magnify the basics to make the bigger one, you see. And so if we want development, the only thing we have to do is to understand the basics. And how to the basics is what we are going to look at today. Ghana was created by the colonial masters. And as a matter of fact, when they came to our land, by then it was Gold Coast, our forefathers were actually living not as organized people. Even if they were organized people, they were living along tribal lines. Maybe one tribe managed to conquer all the other ones, and then they set up something like a kingdom or an empire. That is how they were living. Then the white men came, they put all of us together, and now we are in a bucket that we call Ghana. And then upon that, they gave us a certain form of administration, a certain form of life, how to organize ourselves. And because they did not actually care, or they did not come here to develop us, they did not give us the basics, or we did not seek the basis of what they were giving to us. As a matter of fact, if you go to Britain, you will see that everything was methodically, systematically laid from the lowest level to the upper level. But in our case, it was made from the top to the lower level. So as the colonial masters came, they were doing everything, giving instructions, and then our forefathers were just following it. It is the same thing that today we've carried on into our political life, you see. And so everyone is sitting down seeking support from the central government. This is a colonial mentality, you see, and that has to be addressed. And if we want to move forward, then we have to go to the basics. You see, so as I was saying, we were ushered into modern democratic system by the British, and then we took over. But as a matter of fact, if you compare what we have and what we have in the advanced world, whether it is in the UK, in Germany, in the United States, or Canada, you realize that they have actually took time to set up a machine that is working. And that is, they set up the local structures, local administration, in such a way that everyone is developing what he or she is supposed to do for his or her community or her town. And then when you put all this together, then you have a uniform development. So what you see in town A, you will see in town B. You will see in any part of the country. The only difference is maybe the taste and maybe what they would choose to adopt as their way of life. But the differences are not that much, you see. And so you can travel in the UK from one end to the other, and you will see a certain thread of life, a certain thread of development, basic amenities that are everywhere. And these are done not by the central government, but by the local people through the local administration. And so for Ghana to move forward, there is the need for us to pay attention to how our local administrations is run. I have taken my time and I spoke to a lot of people. And the question I normally ask them is, let us take this hypothetical situation. Let's say the current president, John Mahama, is in the minds of all Ghanaians from all political divides, every one of us, even the children in their mother's womb, believes that he and his government is the ideal government that we have. And therefore, we know that we can move forward. Do you think Ghana can develop such that every part of the country will see development, a uniform and a sustainable development? And the answer is a mixture. Some people say yes, some people say no, some people don't even know what to say. But I want to put to you emphatically that even if we have that situation today, the development we are talking of will never happen. It will never happen. For what we have, the structures, the level of administration that we have in Ghana right now is an anomaly. It's a fact. Our system of government, our system of administration is from top to down. But Western and modern democratic system is from the bottom to the top. The bottom to the top. So if you go to Britain, as a matter of fact, the system or the statement is that the first level of governance is a town. And so when you go to Britain, for instance, every town has its own administration, just as we have administration in a national administration in Westminster. And communities also say villages that are small, that are not up to that level of towns, they put them together as communities. And they also have their own administration. And so when you go to any part in the UK, every town has its administration, its mayor and elected members. All of them are elected people. And they are supported by career professionals. That their job is to initiate projects at their own level. They are given the rights to generate revenue and to initiate projects. And then, as they do that, the central government gives them grants on top of that. In Ghana, let's look at it. In Ghana, what we have is, when we talk of local authorities, local administration, we have the district assemblies, and then we have the assemblymen and all this, and then we have the chiefs. But as a matter of fact, even if you look at the district assembly, they don't really have any power to generate revenue. They are not functioning as it's supposed to be. And even if you move away from the district assembly and you go to the towns and villages, there are no structures apart from the unit committee members who are ad hoc. They do not have any knowledge. They do not have any idea about how to develop or to initiate projects. But theirs is just to be representatives. And when there is something comes up, they gather together, they patch it up. You see, so our system is kind of a loose and unorganized system. And that is where the problem of underdevelopment begins. Until we get our towns and cities well organized, having proper administrative structures, such that every town has the capacity and ability or the leadership to initiate projects. They have the power to generate funds and create their own bylaws. Some of these things are even existing in Ghana, but they are not actually being put into practical use. And therefore, what we have is common things that the people are supposed to provide for themselves through revenue generation. They sit down and what they do is they send messages to the central government through the MPs and that. And therefore, we are just sitting down and believing that manna will fall from heaven and manna will fall from heaven to us, you see. So this is the anomaly of the Ghanaian political administration. Development is not about putting up structures necessarily. Buildings and roads, those ones are good. That is the level of the central government. But the actual development, such that basic amenities, everything that is needed for the society, the community, has to be created from the people, from the community. And this is done by having effective and efficient local administration, beginning from the town. And so the town has its administration, then it moves on to the district or municipality, then it moves on to the national. And then when all these machineries are working, then the central government can support and then also give oversight responsibility on some of these projects. And some of these projects too are initiated as joint projects, either with the central government or with the municipal government, you see. And so most of the things that every Ghanaian is working and believing that it is the current government, let's use the current government as the president of Ghana, John Mahama, and his government, they have to provide. Look, that is not the right mentality. And as a matter of fact, even if we bring Jesus Christ today as the president of Ghana, considering the structure, what we have today, the development we are looking for will never happen. And there can never be any government that can come in power that can provide all the basic necessities that every community, every society needs for it to be possible. And therefore, the only way to get this thing is to go back to the basics and to begin to mop up resources, mobilize funds and other things. Let the people understand that they are the bedrock of their development, and development has a price, and it is the individual people that pays. At their own level, we begin to organize our things. We begin to have proper structures. The chiefs or the chiefs and the traditional rulers are not developmental oriented. Our chiefs are not elected. They inherit their positions. They are not responsible or accountable to anyone. And therefore, there is the need for us to see how best we can actually recalibrate our system in such a way that the political administration of the towns are handed over into the hands of the political administrations of every town. And then we begin to work towards this and develop our countries, develop our towns from bottom to top, and such that you can travel from one end of the country to the other. You will see the same thing happening. Basic necessities, basic amenities that all human beings in the 21st century must possess will be everywhere, for everyone is doing his part. And the central government gives grants based on its own calculations to support every society. So this is just part one of what we are doing, is to take our society and analyze it. Tomorrow I'm going to build on this, and then we move on into other areas of our society. It is time for us to bring ourselves home. The development that we are looking for cannot be achieved by what we are doing or what we have been doing for far too long. Almost 70 years. Ghana is almost 70 years. If what we are doing is going to work, we should see the results. Political parties will come into power, they will patch up things and that. But as a matter of fact, they are not sustainable. Once they get out of power, most of the projects, most of the things that they've initiated goes, wasted. But when we have the political structures at the local level, where the people elected not on political basis, but on a certain formula, so that they'll be non-partisan, they are those that will remain all the time. And they are the people that the local people can hold accountable. And as they do their work, the central government makes them somewhere in the middle, and then we will see a uniform development all over the country, across the country. That is the truth. And as Jesus Christ said, you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So it's a journey. And as I stated at the beginning, subscribe to our channel. Join this movement. Our movement is to open one another's mind, to expose ourselves to what is happening elsewhere. The British were those who created even what we call our country. Ghana, they gave us everything that we are practicing today. But as a matter of fact, most of the things that we have as our government institutions and practices are colonial setups. If you go to Britain, they are not practicing them as we are doing right now. And this is the time to go into every fiber of our society, of our system, and begin to analyze and begin to find solutions. And as soon as we get the solutions to that, we'll move to another level where we can say we've developed upon our current state to that level. Then we move on and move on and move on. That is the truth. And the truth, you will know the truth. The truth shall set you free. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.